The legislature officially can't do anything when we're not in session.
Thousands of people in Kansas now at risk of losing SNAP benefits as the government shutdown continues. Where things stand in Washington and why both sides can't seem to agree. Plus,
if we're going to invest this kind of money, we're going to get a heck of a return.
They've released some plans that would make Arrowhead a legacy facility.
Both Kansas and Missouri are weighing in on the border war over the Chiefs and Royals. Where will the teams call home in the next decade? And how close are they to making a deal?
And later on in the show, the results are in. Where do the people stand on legalizing weed in Kansas? What the latest poll shows and how it could impact lawmakers' blunt approach to the issue. But first this morning, the government shutdown in D.C. continues to make waves across Kansas. You're taking a look inside Kansas politics. Welcome in. I'm Rebecca Chung.
I'm Rob Hughes. Glad you're here. Well, Kansas Governor Laura Kelly is now suing the U.S. Department of Agriculture for withholding SNAP benefits to Kansans due to the shutdown. Inside Kansas Politics Capitol Bureau reporter Braden Day has been following this issue. He joins us in studio now. Now, Braden, what's the very latest on this?
Yeah, Rebecca, Rob, the USDA sent a letter to Kansas officials warning that the government will not be able to fund SNAP in November due to the government shutdown. However, Kelly is skeptical and claims the government is refusing to utilize emergency funds to keep food benefits going. In a written statement, Kelly states that the USDA has access to billions of dollars in SNAP emergency funds that the Trump administration is refusing to use. Therefore, millions of Americans and nearly 200,000 Kansans will not have access to SNAP benefits starting on November 1st. Furthermore, Kelly claims that it should not be the state's responsibility to fund the food assistance program, and a local lawmaker we spoke with believes the state would have no way of doing this anyway.
The legislature officially can't do anything when we're not in session, but we can all, not just us, but everybody, see where our neighbors in need and work on that. I certainly hope that we're able to get a clean bill passed so that we can then negotiate and we cannot have this happen to our constituents.
Now, in addition to Governor Kelly, 22 attorney generals across the nation have joined the lawsuit, as well as governors from Pennsylvania and Kentucky. Working for you in studio, I'm Braden Day.
All right, Braden, thank you so much. Now, if the federal and state government can't handle this issue, that means local governments are going to have to step in.
Yeah, here in the capital city, leaders are preparing. The United Way hosted an emergency food pantry meeting to determine their options. As the government shutdown lingers, SNAP benefits will not be delivered for November. And the Topeka mayor says that it's up to the city to help out.
If the federal government isn't going to help us out, we need to take care of ourselves. We went through this same thing during COVID. It was the city of Topeka that kept itself afloat.
SNAP provides benefits for approximately 42 million people across the country.
And as food insecurity is top of mind over in Salina, some groups are offering 24-hour help. The Salina Sharing Fridge and Freezer launched this week, and it's outside of Bravo Sliders and Bites. Organizers with the Kansas Impact Coalition are stocking it with fresh produce, drinks, and frozen food twice a week. It's free and open to everyone.
A lot of those places require just a little bit more paperwork, and they do have set business hours. So something that's different about us is we're open 24/7, and there's no requirement for any kind of paperwork or anything like that. It's community funded and serves the community, so you just come and get it.
They're hoping to expand the project and put up food stations like this across Salina, and we're bringing in our political expert here, Bill Thiender. And Bill, this doesn't seem to be like an issue that Democrats or Republicans are willing to budge on, and that's despite some of the consequences that comes with this shutdown.
Yeah, there are many consequences. I love your reporting. It shows that state, local government, and also the private sector and nonprofit community collaborate. They're that safety net. Wonderful reporting there, but that won't last forever. And so the consequences, even if SNAP funding comes back, as I've heard, potential for shuffle some more money around to at least extend that for a while, it's going to impact other things. And I mean, I made a list here of other nutritional programs like school meals, low-income WIC, women, infant, and children benefits, early education Head Start, not to mention the healthcare, Obamacare, and Medicaid premiums that we've been talking about. That list right there affects primarily low-income households and citizens, not politically much influence, sadly to say. And I don't think you're going to see the consequences that come along probably won't make much difference unless they're affecting middle America. Again, sad to say that, but that's when we look back in the rearview mirror at the last shutdown that went on this long. That's really what brought people to the table. So being inconvenienced with your air travel, having paychecks not arrive, local economies being affected, places with large federal presence, they're going to feel the effects. And I will tell you that will get the ears of congressional leaders when that happens.
Bill, of course, this isn't the first time we've seen Republicans and Democrats disagree. I mean, less government, less taxes versus more government, more taxes, right? But this time,
Right.
like you're saying, Bill, it's different. Why can't they come together and agree and get something passed?
For a little bit of what I was saying there, remember why we're here. It really comes back, the Senate needs 60 votes. They don't need 51, they need 60, so they need a little bit of Democrat help to do that, to pass the appropriations. And so that's the sticking point. Until this affects, again, more of middle America, and there's pain, not just for those at the, people with lower incomes, they've been inconvenienced their whole life. And as you saw with the food banks and everyone coming to support, the community rallies around their neighbors and family. And so, that's just politically speaking, when middle America gets a little bit more pain, then we may see a resolve between Dems and Republicans.
All right, Bill, thanks so much. We got a lot more coming up after the break.
Laid out a bunch of money? Yes, we absolutely have.
A lot is at stake for Kansas and Missouri with hundreds of millions of dollars on the line. When will the Chiefs and Royals make a decision about which state they'll call home? And later on.
There are some individuals who do conceal carry here in the Capitol.
Kansas is ramping up security as political violence grows. What changes can you expect? That's still ahead. We'll be right back. You're watching Inside Kansas Politics.
Busy parents have a lot to remember. You have to remember your kids don't eat crusts, pack healthy snacks, and leave the house on time. But you don't have to worry about the shades. They'll close themselves. Request a free consultation today.
These are real people seeking solutions to real problems.
I have plantar fasciitis.
Pain with my feet, my knees. Feet, knees, hips, and back.
And then they were fit with Good Feet arch supports.
I definitely feel the heel-to-toe walk.
I'm not feeling any pain, especially in my heel. That's where I always feel it.
I don't feel the knee pain. I didn't notice any pain in my back. I feel like I could walk all day in these.
Oh, you're a blessing in disguise.
Try them for yourself with a free arch support fitting at the Good Feet store.
When everything's on the line, real heroes rise to the occasion. Or die trying. We're firefighters. We're gonna find a way to get you out of here. We take the hits together.
We're on the same team.
I'm right here with you, no matter what.
I would never leave you hanging in the deep end.
This place is a way of giving you new family.
Sundays at 11:30 on 27 KSNT. If you love sports, we've got sports. KU and K-State sports every week on K-Nation.
Who are some of the guys that have kind of flown under the radar?
Highlights, scores, interviews, you name it, we've got it.
A new era of KU football. How's it going?
Whether you cheer for the Wildcats or the Jayhawks, you'll love the coverage we bring you every single week.
Join us every Sunday after 27 News at 10.
For another exciting week of K-Nation.
Help fill the Ronald McDonald House Pantry. Purchase needed items at Seabrook Apple Market starting on November 1st, and then drop them off on November 8th. Keep families with hospitalized children together by supporting Topeka's Ronald McDonald House.
Welcome back to Inside Kansas Politics. Well, we're getting closer to getting answers on whether the Chiefs and Royals are going to cross over here to Kansas.
Yeah, the question still lingers where both teams will play in the next decade. Kansas Governor Laura Kelly says that she will not get into a bidding war when it comes to the Chiefs and the Royals. Just last week in an exclusive interview, Kelly told me the minute she feels like there is one, she's out.
You can be sure that we've done a lot of economic development deals in the time that I've been governor. And we have vetted every single one of those to ensure that if we're going to invest this kind of money, we're going to get a heck of a return on that investment.
Missouri Governor Mike Kehoe spoke with our sister station days after North Kansas City said that it was having substantial conversations with the Royals. Now he weighs in on keeping the Chiefs and Royals on his side of the state line.
Chiefs have definitely said they want to stay at Arrowhead, and we're encouraging them, and they've released some plans that would make Arrowhead a legacy facility, not much like Lambeau Field is. So there's some really exciting stuff that could happen at the existing site for the Chiefs.
And Kansas State Senate President Ty Masterson says that he set an end-of-the-year deadline if either team wants to come to the Sunflower State. Back now with Bill Finder. And Bill, unfortunately, we're not talking about which state has the best fans. We're talking about which state has
we know who the answer to that
exactly.
One, right?
Yeah, we're biased, right? But of course, this is a business. The Chiefs and Royals are looking at which state is offering the better deal. So which state do you think gives them the better deal, and what do you think they're saying now?
Well, I'm probably biased too, but trying to be objective here, Kansas, in my opinion, still has the most generous, expeditious, and fair deal on the table. And that does not require local participation from cities and counties to approve this, and it's fair to the rest of the taxpayers of the state. That said, so I don't know that matters. Actually, I think I'm caught a little curious by the statements by Masterson about putting this self-imposed deadline in place. I understand where the governor is coming from. And she's very good with economic development. If you have a bird in hand, a project that you want to bring to the state, and you've been waiting this long, and you've got a great deal on the table, and you've said that's your best and final offer, and then you're just going to unilaterally walk away from that because in 2 months there's a deadline. Boeing was going to come to Wichita, and Boeing said, I need another couple months. 6 months, you think Wichita would walk away from that? So it is curious that there's a self-imposed deadline, but somewhat understandable too, because the legislative session is starting. It's an election year. Maybe they want to get this all out of the way. But for economic development purposes, I think Kansas is definitely leader in the clubhouse, as they say. But I don't know that matters if they pull themselves out, obviously.
Bill also, go ahead.
Just a quick follow-up. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So Bill, we know that the teams are trying to, I don't want to say pit the states against each other, but they're looking at two different deals. But do you feel that the teams are seeing what each other will do? For example, if the Royals leave Kauffman, maybe that impacts the Chiefs' decision to stay at Arrowhead.
That does complicate things. And on the Missouri side, just by the way, the law that was passed, or the incentives that were passed, it's going to take longer. That deal needs to take longer to come to fruition. And so, the more time they can have, the better I think they'll have a chance at getting this deal done.
All right, Bill, also want to mention the potential for a special session. Right now, the main focus for that would be redistricting, but there's also topics like property taxes coming up. And do you think this is an issue that can be handled in a special session, or should lawmakers wait until next year? We asked the governor about this. She said it's something that maybe they want to hold off on.
Yeah, I would agree. I don't know how long the session is, 4 days or whatever. That's just not enough time. Remember, last time we were here, 3, 4, or 5 months ago, there was 4 or 5 different competing proposals in the legislature for property tax reform. There was no consensus. So are you telling me there's a consensus now that within a few days we can get something done and rush something without local government being involved, which is where all the revenue is going to be taken from? So I agree. I think it's given the time frame, not a good idea.
Gotcha. All right, Bill.
Thanks so much. Well, up next, Kansas is beefing up security. We're breaking down what to know. Plus, a water rule is getting pushed back at the State House, but some are worried about the proposed changes.
And still ahead, where Kansans stand on marijuana, and will lawmakers budge on the issue next year? We'll be right back. You're watching Inside Kansas Politics.
Congratulations, Debbie Nuss, this month's Everything Woman honoree, for being a driving force for compassion in Manhattan, leading efforts to improve health and housing and decrease hunger.
Everything Woman, sponsored by Sharp Honda, Topeka ER and Hospital, and Washburn University.
There's a new sense of pride in Topeka, and local business is the key to our success. Local business is the backbone of our economy, and it drives our prosperity. Please support Topeka's local business leaders like Capital City Flooring, Radiant Dance Studio, and Cambridge Kitchen and Bath.
If I had a friend or a family member in a car wreck, I would definitely tell them to call Devon James. Their main goal was making sure that I was okay, making sure I didn't stress about nothing but getting better. They were absolutely excellent at keeping me informed of my case. They managed to call me about every little move. They talked to me like I was a friend, basically, and it was comforting. If I would have not called Devon James, I would probably still be paying off medical bills probably be in debt, probably had bad credit, would not be in a good situation if it were not for Devon James.
This November,
where the sun is shining and I'm feeling free.
Start your day with the Emmy Award-winning Live with Kelly and Mark. It's a month packed with big stars. Sydney Sweeney, Billy Bob Thornton, Michael Bublé, Tiana Taylor, Janelle James, Elle Fanning, Trisha Yearwood, Michelle Yeoh, Jeff Goldblum, and the Jonas Brothers. Only on the Emmy Award-winning Live.
Weekdays at 11 on 27 KSNT.
That's me. Let's do it, y'all.
Kelly's new season is bringing more.
And I'm bringing the fun.
You better.
This is the Kelly Clarkson Show.
Weekdays.
It's happening. That sounds creepy. It's happening.
Weekdays at 3 on 27 KSNT.
Welcome back to Inside Kansas Politics. Turning now to an issue that's been growing across the nation: political violence.
Yeah, more and more elected officials are targets of crime, and now leaders are taking action. The Kansas Security Committee met this week, and a local senator confirmed that Capitol Police as well as the KBI are actively working on ways to increase security measures at the State House following a rise in politically motivated crimes. State officials discuss upgrading security cameras and updating State House ID badges.
Also, the Kansas Highway Patrol addressed concerns about allowing firearms in the Capitol building with concealed carry laws. Officials say this is something lawmakers are keeping an eye on.
There are some individuals who do conceal carry here in the Capitol. Under the Second Amendment, of course, they're allowed to do that. That was a concern for the Highway Patrol, and we'll continue to just sort of monitor that situation. But I personally am a big believer in the Second Amendment and will support the Second Amendment.
And we're back now with Bill Finder. And Bill, unfortunately, this is happening several instances across the country. What are your thoughts on the actions the State House taking? Is this being proactive, reactive, not enough, too much? And do you feel we could see more of this in the next election?
We could, but I'm not optimistic. Proactive solutions for legislators that's not their strong suit. They are in the here and now, the short term, for various reasons. But the law enforcement professionals, they are in much more proactive and want to prevent injury and tragedies. And so, sad to say, we may be one tragic incident away from having real legislation or some action on the conceal and carry at the State House and protection of politicians. If that's the case, I don't want to wish that on anybody. I hope I'm proven wrong, but I think that is one thing that will get politicians to the table, something in the here and now that they have to react to. Proactive is not, again, that strong suit for them.
I guess a quick follow-up, if that's all right. I mean, just political violence, Bill. This is very emotional, very sensitive, as we know. Do you think we're going to see this as talking points in the next election?
Yeah, and we're in safe to say, a pretty pro-gun right state, and so I think people don't take that lightly, giving up any rights or restricting any of those rights really lightly. So that's why I'm saying you can talk about it in the campaign, you can talk about it running for election, and we can probably stay in our lane. Everybody can stay in their own lanes until something affects us, and then we may see a change.
All right, moving now to water talks at the State House. Kansas is looking at making big changes when it comes to water rights. Advocates say it could help with water conservation efforts, but others say it could lead to some dry wells, which could harm local businesses.
Yeah, right now the state distributes water to businesses and local citizens based on how much water they use. The more you use, the more you get. However, a state official says that some have taken advantage of this rule by wasting excess water in order to continue getting more. In response, the KDA wants to remove the regulation, but others are saying that this would hurt high-use businesses, farms, and more. Well, this is because their water allocation would no longer be determined by usage. One expert's hoping the KDA will not move forward with the plan.
If you're going to turn a 1,500 gallon per minute well into what's functionally a 450 gallon per minute well, that person's going to have trouble making ends meet. We would just like the rules to stay as they were for what can be considered in the formulation of the plan.
We're still in the process of looking at all those comments. We'll take those in and go back and see if there's anything we need to change. We're faced with a situation where we've got a declining resource, and so the question is, are we going to manage that for the long term?
The KDA says that after a hearing from the public, they'll decide in a couple of months whether or not they want to move forward with the changes.
And Bill, what do you think about the debate surrounding these proposed changes and some of the trade-offs that we're hearing about with this?
This is fascinating, and I don't get it, and I'll be honest, because I think there's a solution here for to balance everybody's interests here. There should be a consensus. If not by now, there's definitely everybody, as you saw on there, should understand that you have past farming practices, the right to water in this state, as well as the continued drought conditions, is a terrible recipe for the Ogallala aquifer, and that's not a thing we just recharge in a couple years. That's centuries. So I think the state continuing to put forth a strong support the work of the KDA and the farmers and the landowners to balance out those rights and come to some conclusion. Water is a public good, and I do believe there is a solution here that will save towns and save livelihoods.
All right, Bill, thank you so much. When we come back, we're getting in the weeds on the latest Kansas Speaks poll.
Yeah, what Kansans have to say about marijuana, those results are coming your way next. We'll be right back. You're watching Inside Kansas Politics.
Attention women veterans, do you want free help applying for VA healthcare and veterans benefits you earned? The Kansas Office of Veterans Services has women representatives on site ready to assist you. Help is just a click away. Contact the Kansas Office of Veterans Services.
For more than 40 years, we've helped families protect and beautify their homes with expert roofing, siding, and window solutions.
At Messler Roofing, Siding, and Windows, quality craftsmanship and honest service are more than promises.
They're traditions.
Visit our showroom or give us a call and let us treat your home like it's our home, from our family to yours.
Where trust, pride, and integrity still matter. At Messler Roofing, Siding, and Windows,
we've got you covered.
Honestly.
I did know that back pain, foot pain come along with the job of waiting tables.
This is Tony.
Things that I've tried have failed.
And this is Tony's Good Feet story.
Before my arch supports, I felt defeated, but since getting the arch supports from the Good Feet store, I have had no pain, which still is kind of crazy to me. I'm more positive. It's like opening up a whole new life, like sunshine coming out. I would recommend it to anyone. You've tried everything that's not working, give it a try.
See how we can help you too at the Good Feet store.
She's the teacher who stays late to help one more student. The neighbor who creates a big change from just a small idea. Every day, remarkable women lead, inspire, and change lives in our community. We want your help to recognize her impact.
Go to ksnt.com/remarkable women to nominate a remarkable woman by December 19th. Presented locally by Sharp Honda, Topeka ER and Hospital, and Washburn University.
Attention women veterans, do you want free help applying for VA healthcare and veterans benefits you earned? The Kansas Office of Veterans Services has women representatives on site ready to assist you. Help is just a click away. Contact the Kansas Office of Veterans Services.
I'm David George. Thanks for watching 27 KSNT.
Welcome back to Inside Kansas Politics. And finally this morning, a new survey from Fort Hays State University shows support for legalizing weed in Kansas is going strong. The Kansas Speaks survey found 70% of Kansans surveyed believe medical marijuana should be legalized.
Yeah, that same survey also found 59% supporting legalizing recreational marijuana. Only 24% of Kansans oppose legalizing marijuana for fun, and just 14% oppose it for medicinal use.
Kansas is still one of the few states where marijuana is completely illegal. Now, recently, of course, the KBI raided several stores for selling illegal THC products.
Turning back now to Bill. And Bill, how do you think that this Kansas Speaks poll could potentially influence how lawmakers view this issue and maybe even take action next year?
If history is any predictor of future actions, which it should be, I would say not a lot. The numbers actually for recreational support came down slightly. This is a more legit poll numbers than with the methodology they use this year than in past. It represents more the spectrum of people here in Kansas. But but that said, there's still major support for medicinal, allowing medicinal marijuana, and still good support, strong support for recreational. There's a complete psychosis, I think, going on, detachment from some reality with our legislature, and the leadership is not changing, at least this coming session. So again, look at history. The polls have been strong. The leadership hasn't changed. They haven't moved on it. So my predictor is I don't think this moves the needle again. And it might be, as we say, up in smoke.
It's
once again, right?
Yeah.
I wanted to key on what you mentioned, Bill, is that if you're in office, you get elected, you want to stay in office. But if the vast majority of Kansans support this and you vote in favor of it, you should have no worries.
So, right, you should. But the districts vote for the House and the Senate, and that's your legislators. And the people that come to vote are probably on the other side of this issue, or at least those that get mobilized come out to vote might be more on the other side of this issue. Statewide offices might be another thing. This could affect your campaigning if you're attorney general, if you're governor. That I could see. That could be a talking point, and that could get voters, because yes, 70% people want this. Yeah, I think I'm going to put that in my platform, but that has to be a statewide office.
And I've talked before about how all these other red states are doing it, and Kansas, one of us, the few holdouts. Yeah. Pretty fascinating.
State after state, our revenue is just leaking to the Oklahomas and Missouris and the Colorados of the world.
They're going to get it somewhere.
Somewhere, yeah. If not here. All right, Bill, thank you so much. And that was your look inside Kansas politics. If you want to keep up to date on all things Kansas politics, then follow us on social media. Follow us on X at InKSPolitics and on Facebook. Just search Inside Kansas Politics.
We're also going to post the full video on YouTube. Just search KSNT News and check out Inside Kansas Politics on KSNT.com for past episodes. And if you have a story that you think we should cover, let us know. You can email us at ikp@ksnt.com.
We'll see you right here, same time, same place. Have a good day.